And here in the upper left-hand corner of the map, Antiga Shipyard, we have our pink Terran player from the team Quantic. It is Illusion. Okay, sorry, I was just reading his tag that he had there underneath the command center there. Illusion!
You're so witty, Kevin.
Thank you. I know I am. But keep showering me with compliments. I love it. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Terran player, winner of the last 2 games in a row from the team StarTale. It is Bomber. Oh, Michael, those aren't tricks. Those are my illusions.
And
so you've seen Arrested Development, so you get that. Doa does not, so...
Yeah, I'm clearly a much better co-caster than he is because I've seen those. Yeah.
Clearly, like no contest.
It's very important to have pop knowledge when you're a caster.
Doa, if you're listening, that means you better go out and watch Arrested Development this instant. So I don't care what else you're doing.
That's pretty much a mandate, I think, for anyone.
Yeah, anyone that hasn't seen it, honestly.
Yeah.
Funniest show ever. So. Oh, okay. This will be a good, because I've actually thought about this a few times. What do you think are funnier TV shows?
I don't know, because there's 2 types of funny, right? Like there's consistent funny, like where whenever you tune into an episode, you know it's gonna be amazing, or like there's a couple episodes that are like the best things ever. Yeah. And actually, I think the answer to both of those is probably Seinfeld.
That's actually my my number 2. It's my second favorite comedy show of all time. So I can't say that that's a bad choice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And again for consistency, I almost want to say Futurama as well.
Futurama's pretty spectacular.
But,
those you are naming all fine shows that are like rank on my top TV shows of all time. So I have nothing bad to say about that.
Yep. And thank God they're all
TV
replayed.
Show? Why not Zoidberg? Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. All right, so there's actually a game going on too.
Gas first. For
look
Illusion.
at Bomber. Look at Bomber right now. Look what he did with the supply depot again. He starts it.
Yep.
And leaves it. That's awesome. I love seeing that. That is so cool.
Yep, and certainly something we've been seeing out of Terran players, and proves to be effective, as we can see now, as Illusion's not going to be able to make his way in. Sometimes we've seen players, though, they like start it with the bare minimum hit points, run away, don't pay attention to it, and someone will send up a worker and kill it, and then just go on through. So
that would be amazing.
For now, though, of course, Illusion's starting that factory as soon as possible. It's what that gas first build allows you to do. His orbital commands coming in quite a bit later than his opponents, and obviously Bomber was able to pick up on that. He saw that this wasn't warped in yet, so he knew that it was gas first, of course. And Tech Lab coming up on the factory right afterwards. We're probably going to see Banshees. He could switch it up and do some sort of a Marine Hellion drop, do not get me wrong. Probably going to be Banshees, but of the uncloaked variety.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. And it looks like Bomber is responding by getting a command center, so he feels secure enough that he can handle whatever it's going to be thrown at him. It looks like it is going to be Banshees without having to worry about something else, and he's just getting a factory and continuing on a normal 1-1-1 tech path.
That's right. So he's felt very confident in his ability to put down an earlier command center and still stay safe against early aggression from his opponents. Illusion, though, we're waiting for a some sort of a move out of him. Is he just going to go straight? Oh, he's actually producing a good number of Hellions to go along with this. A lot of times you'll see players that'll actually do this uncloaked Banshee expand right when Banshee number 1 comes out. They sacrifice some of their ground army, but Illusion really going to put on some pressure.
And I mean, I think he's definitely just trying to get. He's making more Hellions, but it's great to get map control to be able to make sure there's nothing funny going on. Take control of the Zelnaga, which is so friggin' crucial on this map.
Yeah.
That Zelnaga is pretty much a lot of times whoever holds it wins.
Yep. Well, especially when you get into like longer control-based TVTs where it's all Marine tank, whoever has the high grounds. I mean, just it's almost impossible to stop it. You've got to sacrifice mass quantities of units or completely circumvent the army to be able to get anything done.
Yeah, you have to be significantly up, and just the power it projects, it pretty much limits you, the person who does not have it, to 3 base. It's very difficult to get more than 3 bases when you do not hold that down, because it just projects everything forward. It makes sure that they're contained and they can't go anywhere. You're able to easily see what's going on, able to easily intercept anything that they're going to try to do to you, and it's such a powerful position. But the Banshee's coming in without cloak. I think it's going to have some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Bomber's going to be able to deal with this. He'll take a little bit of losses. No, actually driving away that Banshee right away. Good control out of Illusion, though. He would be great on that StarCraft Master level that revolves around having the Banshee run away from the Marines. That was the most frustrating one to me. Trying to attack at the front at the same time with 3 Hellions. He wanted to draw those Marines away and hopefully be able to start attacking SCVs that were at the natural, but didn't really pan out for him. And now that there's Banshees up, that's even a trickier proposition. Or not a Banshees, I apologize. Vikings up to defend against those Banshees is going to be a trickier proposition.
And Bomber's definitely ahead right now. You can see that he's already got an orbital at his second, at his natural, and Illusion is just building the basic level command center right now. So, you know, again, I love watching Bomber play TVTs because it seems like he's never fazed by anything. Yeah. He always has an answer for anything that comes to him, and he's always ahead, either in bases or production.
All right, so we'll see what Bomber goes with next. He's not researched his siege mode quite yet, and in fact, swaps off right away so we can go into bio upgrades. So he wants those siege tanks for defense, but then not going to do anything with them quite yet. Illusion, of course, does love his aggressive bio play, so opening with those Hellions, had hoped to see some mech, but of course we know it is going to be back into a bio mech build, probably going to be some tanks on in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Bomber definitely knows that Illusion, by showing the Hellions and the Banshee, that he is not going for early siege tanks, which opens the possibility for him to get very fast bio. And it looks like he's definitely getting a lot of it. You know, it allows him, again, he's responding to what his opponent is doing. He sees the opportunity to go for something that's really good, which is mass bio, and then he's going to take that opportunity and be able to execute on it because he knows Illusion doesn't have siege tanks.
And looks like Illusion is going to prioritize. We've seen a lot of players do this where they'll prioritize all Marines for a while, be really late to siege tanks, and that's going to be the case here, of course. Not sure why he moved the starport to the side first, rallied that away. I guess they wanted to make sure it wouldn't collide with the factory. I always love this, too, because it feels like you're being caught with your pants down. Like, Bomber sees this, and the starport's like, what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to land on this reactor.
Just chilling.
You're insane. How dare you be presumptuous? But, of course it is.
Yeah, it's definitely you have to quickly assess in your mind whether you want to continue with your plan or if you want to try to confuse them. And it's almost it goes back and forth because you're like, well, you know, does he know that I know that, and do I know that he knows that, and then you know, constantly switching between what you want to do. But a lot of times it's just best to go with what your build is. Let's see if Illusion can do any damage here.
All right, moving in. He's going to try and pick off siege technology, and he may be able to do just that. Yes, it gets canceled, and the siege technology is stopped. Illusion able to get out of there with the loss of just 1 Marine. I actually think that was Bomber, so I don't think he lost anything there.
That was so clutch.
Yeah, really well done.
That was amazing, especially because, again, Illusion is going heavy bio. He wants to make sure those siege tanks are delayed as long as possible because, you know, that bio just gets ripped apart with just a couple siege tanks if it has a buffer, and it looks like he's going to move out here and try to take advantage of this timing where he doesn't have siege tanks.
That's right. So without siege mode there, these tanks are not quite worthless, but pretty darn bad against Marines, especially as upgraded as they are.
Yeah, especially with 3 medevacs, too.
Now, the one problem, unfortunately, for Illusion is I don't believe he has combat shields. He does not, and it's not on the way. That actually makes his force quite a bit weaker.
Yeah, Doom Drop with a Banshee and a Viking City above, though, is pretty good, especially...
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if Bomber's going to have enough here to hold.
Let's see here. He's got to rally his forces back, and as we mentioned before, no siege mode. It is, in fact, coming up right now. So Bomber has to move up very, very quickly. Oh, loses his own combat shield upgrade. He has a few stim Marines, though, and he will start attacking these units from Illusion, pulling workers off of the line as well, and Illusion is going to be driven back. Loses the Banshee in transit as well. So he stops combat shields, and he stops siege technology one more time, but does take some pretty heavy losses.
Yeah, and you know, Illusion's siege tech is halfway done. His third is going to be up faster, so I think Illusion is definitely in a very good position here as long as he can stop any sort of aggression from Bomber. It looks like Bomber does have a good group of units that's about to move out.
And Bomber starting his next orbital command, so both players pretty even on their third command center. Of course, it's going to take time for Bomber to lift his over to the third, so they should hit it at about the same time. So that being said, Bomber feeling confident enough to start pushing out on the map just a bit. He wants to start wresting back that map control from Illusion.
Yeah, I think Bomber definitely wants to take that Xel'Naga, so if Illusion can hold on to it, it's going to be a very strong position for him.
And Illusion does hold for the time being. Of course, we know there's no siege technology coming up once again. It looks like this go-around, Bomber may have just forgotten about it. There it is. There we go. And, oh, it was actually being... Was it at... Oh, that's because it was researching over here. I was like, it just disappeared, and it's not being researched on that tech lab. Am I going insane?
Instant research, already done.
I was about to call hacks, but no. Bomber, he's good, but he's not that good.
Here we should analyze some replays, look for some...
Well, let's see here now as somewhere Spades is hanging his head in shame. Well, third base is up and running now for Illusion, as well as it is for Bomber. Bomber's a little bit behind, I'm sorry, on his other Vespian geysers as well. So his gas production's down a little bit, but these guys are playing pretty even now. We've slowly started to stabilize. Illusion, he is way behind in tank production though.
Yeah, I mean, Illusion definitely needs to catch up, and I think that's why he's retreated from the middle, is that I think he knows if he tries to take a stand here that his force can be crushed because of his much lower amount of tanks. So he needs to get his tank count up and figure out a way to flank, and hopefully he doesn't lose the middle for too long.
It looks like he did realize that he hadn't researched combat shields. It's coming up now. It's still a little ways away as well, which makes his forces pretty weak. But once that's done, he'll be in good shape. We're looking at basically even Marine count, a little bit of a medevac advantage for Illusion, but a huge tank advantage now for Bomber. The tank's just coming on very slowly for Illusion.
Yeah, and it's not like Illusion is so far ahead in upgrades that it's not going to matter either. So this is definitely a very serious problem for Illusion. Forcing a stim on all of those Marines. These medevacs are going to be dry pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right. So the Marines all getting healed up, but as you mentioned, these medevacs are going to be out of energy pretty quickly. So that being said, +2 armor coming up for both guys at about the same time. Looks like +1. I'm sorry, what's the word I'm looking for here? Let's just read that. Vehicle weapons. That's the words I was looking for in English that time. A little bit ahead now for Bomber.
Yeah, and just look at Bomber project the power here. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts his 4th right south of that Zelnaga very soon, too. I think he feels very confident right now. In fact, there's going to be a drop going on. Illusion has no way of seeing this. This could be devastating to his production facilities.
That's right, and as we see, Bomber, pretty good vision as well. He's going to keep control of this high ground very easily. What's sitting up now for Illusion? There are a couple of missile turrets. He may be able to drop in a little bit of a sweet spot. We'll see if he can find a place. It looks like he's actually just going to go ahead and drop underneath the guys of this missile turret. One of those medevacs is going to go down. Hazards of war, I suppose, but now a lot of damage being done to Illusion.
No response yet from Illusion. There's some Marines streaming in right now, but it doesn't look like to be enough. He actually has to retreat with them.
All right, now finally has enough. He's going to be able to clean this up. Not going to be able to get that engineering bay, unfortunately, but still, damage was done. And at the same time, here comes Bomber.
Oh.
All right, rolling up right away. There's not that many tanks sitting up for Illusion, and there was the problem of that low tank count. Bomber has once again retaken that supply advantage, and boom!
No.
Tanks starting to rip away at those Marines.
You know, even though the supply count is relatively even, Bomber's in such a stronger position right here where he can pretty much force Illusion's hand. Illusion's going to have to attack into a very undesirable situation. Here we go.
That's right. He has to move up the ramp, and he's just getting shelled away by these siege tanks. His Marine numbers have gone down very significantly. He's sitting on less Marines, less tanks, less everything than his opponents. These tanks are starting to slowly go down, but that being said, the damage has been done.
Yeah, you know, Illusion definitely didn't respond to the drop maybe as well as he could have, though Bomber definitely took advantage of the situation very well. You know, Illusion really had to string units in to be able to take care of the drop, and then had to come back and was able to lose a good chunk of his units to Bomber, and then to be able to respond to that attack on the 3rd, it just took forever for his units to get there, and they came in sort of half-cocked.
That's right. So Bomber, it is Bomber once again. He's going to make a huge doom drop now, and he's actually going to have to watch out. There's 2 missile turrets there. Thankfully, they actually go after one of the medevacs that didn't have that had 2 medevacs in it, so he was able to unload quickly enough before he lost anything out of those out of the first medevac. But now, how does Illusion assault this position? He's already lost 2 production facilities and losing add-ons on almost all of his other ones.
Yeah, you know, this is definitely where your base works against you, because to be able to stream Marines and you create artificial choke points for the enemy tanks just to be able to siege the heck out of your troops, and it's really difficult to assault that type of position there.
That's right. So Bomber is doing so much damage. Now he's going to take out an orbital command as well at the same time. He's walking through the 3rd. There is a siege tank up, and I do just mean a siege tank. Looks like one more on the low ground now. He may be able to take that out in addition, but still, there's the GG from Illusion, and Bomber has just won his 3rd game in a row.
Wow.